Ever since the war in the Middle East broke out, Iran has been using large numbers of Shahed suicide drones to hit US military bases in the Gulf. This has caused some pretty serious damage. Real-world results show that even with traditional air defense systems, the US can't seem to stop these mopeds. On top of that, the US is burning through a massive amount of expensive ammunition. It's no secret that a single Patriot interceptor missile costs over $4 million. Meanwhile, one Iranian Shahed drone costs less than $5,000. Firing a $4 million missile at a $35,000 drone is a losing game. Even a country as wealthy as the US can't afford to fight like that. The military realized they had to find a way, which is both cheap and effective to intercept these threats. Otherwise, the budget will collapse before the war is even won. Under this extreme asymmetric pressure, a low-cost solution was rushed to the front lines. It started in Silicon Valley and evolved on the battlefields of Ukraine. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll shared some shocking numbers during a congressional hearing. In just the first 8 days of the war between the U.S. and Iran, the Army went on a buying spree, ordering 13,000 Merops interceptor drones. Each one costs only about $15,000. These little things are actually cheaper than the Iranian Shahed drones, and they're becoming a total lifesaver for the US military. Interestingly, this drone was inspired by the war in Ukraine. In the summer of 2023, former Google CEO Eric Schmidt went to Ukraine to see the battlefield for himself. That's when he decided to build this interceptor drone. He started a project called Project Eagle, bringing together engineers and experts from companies like Apple, SpaceX, and Google. They brought Silicon Valley's algorithmic thinking into the traditional defense world. They weren't chasing faster processors or more computing power. Instead, they used a low-cost, expendable, and fast-moving approach to build a poor man's version of an anti-drone weapon. That is how Merops was born. The heart of the Merops system is a drone called the Surveyor. It's a propeller-driven, fixed-wing drone. It flies at over 282 kilometers per hour, which is fast enough to chase down the Shahed 130 that cruises at about 185. It carries a 4.4-pound high-explosive warhead and uses AI to guide itself into a direct hit or a nearby explosion. If it doesn't find a target during its flight, it can be recovered with a parachute and used again. Each Merops system includes a ground station, a launcher, and several Surveyor interceptors. The whole setup fits in the back of a mid-sized pickup truck and is run by a 4-person team. That team consists of a commander, a pilot, and 2 technicians. The best part is that an operator only needs 2 weeks of training to get started. You can even fly the Surveyor with an Xbox controller. This simple design lets troops master it quickly. It really helps fix the problems of long training cycles and personnel shortages that haunt traditional air defense. The biggest disruption with Merops isn't the tech specs. It's the way it completely rewrites the cost formula for air defense. As Driscoll said in the hearing, when the cost to intercept drops to $15,000 for a target worth $3,000 to $5,000, the US is finally on the right side of the curve. Before, the US was losing money with every shot. Now, every time a Shahed gets knocked down, the other side is the one feeling the economic pressure. As long as the success rate stays high, the defender can finally take charge in a war of attrition. The US military trusts Merops because it's not just a lab experiment. It has been through the most brutal, real-world testing in Ukraine. The system arrived in Ukraine in 2024 for combat trials. By November 2025, Merops had intercepted over 1,000 Shahed drones in Ukraine, with a success rate of nearly 95%. By the numbers, Merops used $15 million worth of interceptors to destroy over $200 million in Russian drones. That's a cost exchange ratio of over 13 to 1. This incredible performance is exactly why the US rushed it to the Middle East. The war in Ukraine proved it could handle heavy electronic warfare and stay reliable during swarm attacks. One defense official admitted to the New York Times that the US watched Ukraine learn these lessons in blood for 4 years. It wasn't until Iranian drones started killing US soldiers that these lessons were actually taken seriously. Still, the US clearly underestimated the power of Iranian drones before the war. After fighting broke out on February 28th, a drone strike on a US base in Kuwait killed 6 American soldiers. Faced with that emergency, the military fast-tracked the Merops deployment. Within 5 days of the war starting, the first 1,000 AI-powered Merops drones were sent to the Middle East. Within 8 days, that number jumped to 13,000. The US has set up the largest anti-drone training deployment in Army history. According to a defense official, about 30 Merops systems are stationed at 2 main hubs. One base has over 100 personnel running about 20 systems, while the other has 50 to 60 people running 10 systems. Right now, the Army has deployed 1,000 interceptors at these 2 locations and plans to add more soon. However, there's one confusing fact. Since late February, Tehran has launched thousands of drones at US bases and allies, but the US hasn't used Merops to shoot any down yet. Why? Because training takes time. Even though Merops is easy to operate, this is a training deployment. There are over 150 soldiers at these 2 sites getting trained right now instead of being in active combat. In Ukraine, Merops was fighting Russian drones. In the Middle East, it's facing a brand new Iranian opponent. This means the detection systems need to be recalibrated. The electronic warfare environment is totally different, and the operators need time to adjust. Most importantly, the Merops system has to be integrated into the existing US air defense network. The military is clearly choosing a train first, fight later strategy. The arrival of Merops marks a whole new chapter in anti-drone warfare. In the first stage, countries tried using traditional missiles, but the cost was impossible to maintain. In the second stage, electronic jamming became the main fix. But jamming has its limits against drones that follow preset paths and don't rely on GPS. In the third stage, everyone hoped for lasers and other energy weapons, but those still need more time to be ready for the real world. Merops represents the fourth stage. It's drone against drone. It's low cost against low cost. It's fighting attrition with attrition. This symmetric response isn't about having a tech gap anymore. It's all about the cost advantage. But while the shield gets thicker, the spear is getting sharper too. The US defense net isn't fully ready yet, but Iran's attack methods have already updated. In this war, Iran introduced the new Shahed 110 jet drone. It hits speeds of 510 kilometers per hour. It can take out radar stations, command centers, and communication hubs, just like a small missile. It can also strike moving targets like command trucks and missile launchers with total surprise. It works perfectly alongside the Shahed 136. The Shahed 136 drains the defense with low-cost swarms, while the Shahed 110 uses speed and stealth for precision strikes. This 1+1 is greater than 2 combo takes Iran's asymmetric warfare to a new level. Meanwhile, the Merops Surveyor drone maxes out at 282 kilometers per hour. That's much slower than these jet-powered drones. Against a faster jet-powered enemy, the Surveyor is at a major disadvantage in a chase. To make things even tougher, Iran is learning from Russia's tactics in Ukraine. They're mixing Shaheds with more complex decoys and jamming drones to create swarms where it's hard to tell what's real. Facing that kind of electronic fog, can Merops's algorithms and speed actually lock onto the real threat? When every interceptor is at risk of being tricked, jammed, or wasted on a decoy, can that $15,000 cost advantage actually turn into real results on the battlefield? In Ukraine, Merops dealt with Russian drones that mostly followed fixed paths at a steady speed. In the Middle East, the US is up against a smarter, craftier enemy that knows how to lure and drain its opponent. Can the lessons Merops brought back from Ukraine be copied and pasted to Iran? Or will the US end up learning a whole new set of lessons in blood? That's a question Merops can't answer yet. It's just going to have to prove itself through its success rate in actual combat.